Hello, today just wanted to make a quick video of the Nintendo 64, which was formerly known as the Nintendo Ultra 64, but the name was changed due to, I believe, some sort of copyright stuff. I don't know. But it was supposed to be called the Nintendo Ultra 64, but it was later shortened down to the Nintendo 64. Here's where the jumper pack goes in. See, I like videos with the cameras that have good macro focus, because otherwise it'd be like all blurry right now. But camera has pretty good macro focus, so you can see every little bit of dust in there. And this right here is where the 4 megabyte expansion pack goes. So give your system 8 megs of RAM. Some people might think that this is actually RAM in here, right here. This is a regular jumper pack, but it's not. It actually is just like a jumper pack. It just like passed through the signal, and it really doesn't do anything besides that. Because the RAM, the actual 4 megs that the system has already is built into the motherboard. And right here, get a close-up of the logo. Nintendo Ultra 64, you can see all my fingerprints all over it. I mean Nintendo 64. And you actually can still see some of the, where it was supposed to be Nintendo Ultra 64 on its, like, numbers on the back. Watch. CNUS Nintendo Ultra 64. Not much, just some warnings in the back. Some shielding. This is the extension port, which was actually removed on some of the really late models because the 64DD was dead in the water. And then right there is the port for the 64DD, and which was used for some kind of not so legal, in a sense, like Game Doctor, V64, and Disk 64. It was actually originally intended for like developing, but then some people figured out a way to use it to run. It actually originally wasn't intended for, but later, like, updates allowed it to run like copied ROMs off of discs, and it would run through this port, and then you could play it. Here's the back of the system. A little hole in the back to fit in the AC, which is cool. So then it ends with a normal plug. The Nintendo, can they see focus? Service. Multi-out. Now you see there's no RF on the system, but it actually can output RF using, wait for it, the focus. This little box can allow you to output RF. It also works on the GameCube and the Super Nintendo Model 2. Allows you to do RF. Switch to switch, channel 3, channel 4. And you would just plug this in, and then you got RF. But for this video, I'm not going to be using RF because it doesn't look as good. And it's easier for me right now just to use regular. So let me see. Okay, there we go. Got that plugged in. And see, right here I actually have a Nintendo 64 DD disk drive, dynamic drive, which uses that port. And right here I have a modem. This actually doesn't fit in here because the 64 DD runs, I know for a fact, on Japanese systems and on North American systems. But this won't fit in. The modem won't fit in. But I have a way to get around that. I could actually just cut off the tabs in there, but I don't want to mess up the Nintendo 64, like break a part of it. So I got this pass-through cart. This cart allows you to plug it in. Then you would just plug this in like so. And then that just passes through the signal and allows you to play it. See, just to show you why it won't fit, because see, there's little tabs on the American, so it'll like fit perfect in there. But on the Japanese, it's a slightly different. It moves over a little bit and gets a little bit wider That's basically the 64's region lockout. It's pretty easy to get around. I know you could play Japanese games and North American games on Japanese and American systems and vice versa. I'm not sure about PAL. Maybe, I'm not 100% sure though. I'm just saying maybe, I don't know really. Okay. And then, here's what a standard North American box looks like. Here's Yoshi's Story. Each side has a different color, which is pretty cool. Gives you a variety of options when you stack it. And here's just some screenshots. Some standard stuff on the back. Not too much. Then if you go up here, here's actually what a North American box looks like. Then go over, here's what a Japanese box looks like. And then here's what a Japanese box looks like compared to North American boxes. The Japanese boxes are slightly taller. And instead of being horizontal like this, they would be vertical like this, the boxes. So that's how those boxes work. And then it would just have a cartridge in it like this, which is what the Nintendo 64 uses. Here's a North American cartridge. Not too much. Super Mario 64. And then also the cartridges came in several different colors. There's like green, blue. Here's like gold for Zelda. A couple of different colors. Most of them though came in standard gray cartridges. For the Nintendo 64, I'm not actually sure if there was like really any pirate cartridges. I know there's some pirate things that plug into there, like Mr. Backup and the TriStar 64. Those are pretty hard to get nowadays though. The TriStar 64 isn't that hard to get, but they're pretty expensive. Mr. Backup 64 is kind of expensive to get and hard to get. And then here's another thing. The GameShark Pro, I have the version 3.3 because pretty much you can run any 64 game on it. And on the back it has a serial port. And I think using this port you can like dump ROMs off of. You can dump ROMs, but I'm not really sure because I don't have the GameShark software, the cable to plug this into a computer, or even a computer with this type of port on it, and I don't even have a PC, so probably won't be trying that out anytime soon. So basically allows you to cheat and do weird things, but the GameShark has this annoying little thing called key codes. Like Super Mario 64, GoldenEye, and some of the older games don't require key codes. You can just plug it in and it'll work. But for games that like Zelda that won't just work like that, you actually gotta plug in a game without a key code, like Mario 64 or something. Then what do? You put it in, go through the menu, gotta go to key codes, then select which key code you want for which game. Then you turn it off, then you can put it in and use a cheat, which is kind of annoying. Because every time you turn it off, you gotta redo it. So yeah, that can get quite annoying. Okay, now I talk about the controller. The controller was the first like main video game system with an analog controller. It actually beat out the Sega Saturn 3D controller, which I have around here somewhere. I think it's in my closet I have one. Would have actually been the first, but this beat it out by like a couple weeks, if I'm not mistaken. So this is barely it. But you could see it kind of resembles a Super Nintendo controller. See how it has a D-pad here? It doesn't have a select, but it has a start. And this would have been like the A, B, X, Y, or however it went. Because Nintendo, when they released this, didn't know if 3D games were going to really take off. So they built it in a way where it would be like easy to switch back. Like you would hold it like this in one hand, and then like you would hold it this, and then you'd be able to just play regular 2D games like normal. But 3D was a hit, and the the D-pad serves little purpose in most games. Most games, I think you can use this like to just scroll through stuff. But for the most part, you're going to use this. You can hold it also like this as like a trigger, which I don't know if Nintendo did this or what. But if you actually notice, like if you could see like this, it looks really similar to the Nintendo nunchuck. Just like imagine this being right here. This is where the analog is. And that's the back. See, just look at it. It looks like a Nintendo nunchuck for the Wii. Okay. Now on the back, we got here. We got another little expansion port. For the main part, this is mostly used for memory cards, which some of the cheaper games used because the costs a little bit more to put battery backup on the cartridges, which most games actually use. And it would just plug in there. Now I have, where is it? I don't see it right now. Oh, here it is. I have three things from what I know at least plugged in here. Here we got the Rumble Pack, which the first game to use this was Star Fox 64. You plug that in like so. And now your controller will rumble every time you hit something. Hit enemy, strike, get hit, something like that. And then you also got this. This is the Nintendo 64 Transfer Pack. And probably the most well-known game to use this would be, where is it? Pokemon Stadium. Because in this you could like transfer Pokemon and then play the actual one of the Pokemon, like Pokemon Blue I have in there. You could actually play this like in some sort of emulator on Nintendo 64 on a screen, which I'll show you in a minute. So that's pretty cool. So you just plugs right in. Plugs right in, which actually makes it pretty cool, because then it could just stand up on its own like so. Let's see, plug the controller in the system. Plug this game in. Now you're ready to roll. Now I'll show you, watch. Turn it on. Ah, jeez. It's not working out there. You're blowing the cartridge. Okay. There we go. And see, this is giving me trouble. Now I gotta, this stupid controller pack must be dirty too. Because when I was doing this earlier, it gave me this. Okay, it came out. Okay, hopefully it'll work this time. Sorry for the little interruption right there. Okay, now it's working. Okay, just press start. The resolution in this game is actually pretty good. Now just press A. You want to go to the Pokemon Stadium. Then we'll go over to where this like Game Boy is. Press A. And then wait for it. And tell that we want to play it. And then watch this. It starts at some emulator. And then you could just go around and play your game. Now I'll get out of this. What button do you press? Oh yeah, you press. Now I'll tell it I just wanna quit. Yes. Now I'll just get out of this. I'll just show you what the graphics look like on the 64. They're pretty good. Especially in this game. Let's help to start. Yes, I want to start. Hurry up. Ah, come on. Well, this is giving me problems. Well, I could just reset it and show you the graphics. So this game actually looks pretty good. Well, that's my review. Not the greatest, but pretty good. See you.